Hi everyone, I'm making an art journal page today. I'm working in this large journal that I just made back to back with a thick paper, 240 gram, that I took from a paper pad. And what I want to do is create a background just with repeating one pattern. And I'm going to use this stencil. This is one of mine that I've made, but you can do it too, just by taking a page from a catalog. This is from the IKEA catalog or from a magazine, and you can just fold it and it would be very easy to create something like this. This is not quite symmetrical. By doing this you will have a more symmetrical pattern, and I'm just demonstrating how easy it is. I'm using nail scissors because they have a curve and they are more dainty than regular scissors, and it's easier to make this kind of cuts. So let's see, let's start here. And of course it can be any kind of shapes that you want. It doesn't have to be this this pattern, and I'm just doing it quickly so you can see how easy it is to make a stencil. Now I'm using a catalog page or a magazine page because they are glossy and they can be used quite easily as a stencil. If you are really wanting it to last for long, then you can either go over them with white gesso or spray them with clear spray from a can. So if it's really important to you to use it again and again. And of course you can do like I do and cut it out of acetate, depending on how much patience you have. So this is just the start of this kind of pattern, and as you can see I'm not even planning, just cutting the shapes so you can see I can also go and fold it again, so I will have more of the same pattern here. Of course, as the more you fold it, it's a little bit thicker and a little bit harder to cut, but it can be done, just depending on you. So I've done it quite quickly, but here we go. Here is just created a stencil out of a catalog page from IKEA, and not planned and not anything. So here we go. You can do it. You don't need anything special. So I've got this, and I'm in a mood for all kinds of grays and blue grays, and I've got all kinds of very old paint that I want to use. So I just picked all kinds. I've got some from the cheap store, I've got deco art, all kinds. So let's put this to the side. And where did I put? I had a palette that let's take this one. I hope I'm in frame and you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to use this one, this stencil, this part of the stencil. Maybe later on I will add little ones from this. I'm not sure. I need to start stenciling before I know where it's going. So I'm taking a makeup sponge, and some of these are very runny and old, so don't know what will come out of it. Let's see. I already have here some acrylic soup because it's that old. Okay, I've got my sponge. Oopsie, what's going on today? Just dabbing the excess, and I'm starting to stencil. It's gonna take me quite some time to do the whole page and with different colors, but that's part of the fun, for me at least. And you can pick any kind of stencil that you want to create a pattern. It doesn't have to be this. Here we go. We've got one already. Just going over areas that need a little bit more. Oops. Okay, so going to do one more. I want to spread them all, and I want them overlapping, but the overlapping that I'm planning is going to be with other colors. So now I'm using this color, and later on I'll switch to another one, and then there is going to be an overlap between all this. I'm trying to be quick about it because it really doesn't matter. It's part of a background. It doesn't have to be perfect, and there is going to be a lot of layering. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit here. I hope I'm in frame and you can see what I'm doing. Now you don't have to use acrylics. You can use distress inks with a makeup brush, or any kind of sponge also works. And then you don't have to wait for anything to dry. It would be very quick. Maybe I'll do one with a distress ink just so you can see how it looks. I'll just finish this with this color, and maybe I'll move on to do one with a distress ink. Okay, let's see. I don't want to create symmetry, so I'm just spreading it randomly on the page. Okay, one color done. Let's see. I'm going to grab a distress ink. Let's see, maybe a weathered wood. I think maybe I'll test it before I'm going to do it. Let's find a piece of white paper so I can test it. And of course now I can't find. Here we go. Let's see. It's too much like this one, so I'm going to pick some different color. It doesn't have to be just distress inks. You can also go for the distress oxides. Let's see, this one is iced spruce. Yeah, this is more of a gray. And let's see. Well, I'll just do this one. It really doesn't matter. As you've seen, I've picked all kinds of shades, so The only thing is that I'm not sure that, because I'm going to just use this, I'm not sure how much of it will be seen on top of an acrylic paint, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm just taking the makeup brush with the iced spruce distress oxide and going like this. Again, I'm working quite quickly because I really don't care. It's part of a background. So whatever will be, will be. Now, you don't have to do a lot each time. Like if I've picked this distress oxide to use now, I can do just two, one here, one here. I don't have to have it all over the page. I'm just spreading it around and building layers with the same stencil. So, and there are no rules to it. It's up to you to decide how many, where you want to put them, when to stop. Yeah. Okay, another one here. Of course, if you are just using a distress inks, then it's faster in that you don't have to wait for it to dry like an acrylic paint. So that's another way to go about it, and it's also a softer look. So if you've got the distress inks in all kinds of colors, you can go for it. And you can also use other kinds of ink pads. Maybe I'll even use another ink pad. I'm not sure yet. Something that is not distress ink. Yeah. Okay. So we've done this one. Let's pick another color. Okay, what color do I, maybe this one. This is a little bit more blue than gray, so it would be interesting. Just taking the same sponge. Oh yeah, I'm already loving this background. Ooh. I have an idea, but still I managed to surprise myself. And of course you can do something like this with all kinds of colors. You can go all spring and do all kinds of colors. You can go all fall and do something with fall colors. It will change completely by just changing the color palette. So have fun with it. Okay. Yes. Okay, where do I put another one? If I want to put another one, I'll put another one here. It's quite large, and I'm always worrying that I'm not in frame and you don't see what I'm doing. In areas when you're overlapping on the others, if you feel it needs to be more visible, then just do another layer. Up to you. I don't really care. As I said, these are just layers to the background. Okay, yes, I just want a little pick of this color at this end of the page. Okay, I'm happy. One happy camper here. Okay, next I've got this. This is a moss pearlescent color from Deco Art. Maybe I'll try it. What's the worst that could happen? If it won't be visible, it won't be. The metallics are a lot of time are very thin and translucent, but because I'm layering, it really doesn't matter. I'm using the same sponge. I'm within the same mostly in the same color palette, so it really doesn't matter if it will be a little bit contaminated with the blue that I've just used. And again, if you are using a metallic acrylic paint or pearlescent and you want it to be more visible, just do another layer. Okay, so it worked for me. I'm going to put a little bit of it, I think here. Yeah. It seems like I won't be needing all the colors that I took out because my background is already starting to take shape. The only thing that I think is needed after this is maybe spreading some of the little flowers that I have here on the stencil, just to a little bit break out the pattern that I've got. Yeah, I'll put this one here. All these are very old paints. I'm trying to use them and get rid of them. I wanted to just start smeared all this paint, all the old paint on large pieces of paper, but I still can't find the time to do it. So right now I'm just using it on whatever I'm doing. I've got some smears here, don't care. And let's see. maybe, but at least I need to clean the spillage that I have here from the paint soup. Yeah. Okay. Just trying to clean some of the mess that I'm making. Okay, so let's see. I think I'll go with another color. I'll do another color. I've got this one, another bluish one. Of course, acrylic booger. Okay, so let's see. I want something here. Now I hope that when I go and do my focal image, which I'm not sure yet what I'm going to use, I have an idea. I hope it will work because I do have a repeating pattern here, but it's lots and lots of details, so I'm hoping my focal point will be seen on top of all of it. So yeah, and I think I'll put something here. What color? Never mind, just picking up some color. Okay, I really like what's going on here. I feel like here I've got something like a a hole that needs to be filled, but maybe now that I will do the small flowers here, maybe then it will just take care of itself. So that's what I think I'll do. I'm just masking around it, so I won't pick something that I'm not interested in. Let's see. When I'm making a stencil, especially if it's something like this, I try to have many sizes or other elements that are similar to the bigger one, so I will have other things to play with. So I've got this that is echoing some of this. Okay, I think I'll go. I'm worried that this would be a little bit too much dark. Maybe this is the purplish gray, maybe this one. Okay, we'll try this and see how it goes. So I'm going to put this one here, dabbing the excess. Okay, it works. It's a little bit translucent, not quite opaque, so I'm just dabbing again and again until I get what I want. Not that important. It needs to be a part of my background, and this is it. I'm not looking for it to come too much through. That's why I didn't use the darker one. I was worried that it would stand out too much on this background. Yeah. Let's put another one here. Why? Don't know, because I can. Again, spreading random on the page. And I think I'll go with another one here. And I've got a lonely empty corner there, just moving a little bit. There is never enough space. Yeah. Okay, that's my background. I love it. I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes, just so I won't smear anything. I've got lots of paint left, so I'm bringing one of my notebooks for leftover paint. Sometimes I'll just, if I've got lots of paint left, I will just smear it. If I've got less and I've got small amount of paint left, then I will just use whatever I've got and start stenciling on top of something that I've already smeared. So here we go, just using the leftover paint, and without trying too much, I'm creating another collage paper, painty paper to use in other projects. So nothing is going to waste. I'm already loving what's going on here. So simple and so effective. Yeah. Another one. I've got more paint left. Of course, if this is not interesting, just scroll forward, watching me stencil again and again the same thing could be boring. I'm trying to get inside here. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Okay, I'm gonna spread more. Let's do this one. It won't be too much visible. It's the pearlescent color, but I don't care. Oh yeah. Already liking this page. No planning into it. Yeah, okay, so I've got this and it's still wet, so I'm taking another one of my notebooks for leftover paint, and I'm going to use whatever is left on a different page. I think that, okay, yeah, I can do on this one. Just smearing paint, not a care in the world. Changing colors, don't care. You see how easy it is to create collage papers just from leftover paint. I'm really not trying, I'm just smearing it all over. Not trying and not caring. Just covering the page. Don't care if things show like lines or the numbers. Of course, if you don't like something like that, just pick another notebook with blank pages. So here it is. Both of this needs to dry, and it's enough time for this to get dry. Okay, moving on. I wanted to use this stencil, and I hope it will work here and won't get lost. I'm just thinking, what color do I want? If I want to go with some dark blue or dark gray, or if I want to go with black. And I'm thinking I'll go with black. So for practical reasons, it will stand out on all these details, and also afterwards, if I want to do some fixing and continue some of the pattern, it would be easier. So I'm gonna go for black this time. I'll change to another sponge, so I will get a black. Okay, dabbing the excess, and I'm not sure that I want it centered. Yeah, I think I'm going to move it here. Okay, starting to stencil again. I'm just stenciling right now. You can scroll forward in the video. I'm going quite fast about it again because I know that I can fix later whatever is not as I want it to be. Just black permanent marker and all will be fixed. Maybe, well, maybe I'll do some detailing on top of the black once it's dry. I don't know. I just knew that I wanted to create a background from the same element and create a pattern, and that I wanted to use this stencil. That's it. All the other stuff is just going with the flow and what seems to work at that particular moment. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes before I'm doing any fixing, so I won't ruin another marker. I'm just famous and so talented by ruining markers on wet paint. So I'm going to let it be. I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm just doing some simple fixing, and by fixing I'm meaning two things. One, like if I don't have a crisp line because I had some, I don't know, spillage from the acrylic paint under the stencil, then I'm going in and I'm just fixing it with, again, black permanent marker. If I want to change a detail, make something a little bit more I don't know, interesting, then I will go in and do it like so. And also sometimes I like to connect the pieces of the stencil, so I will go like this and just connect all the pieces. So this is going to take some time, not interesting enough to watch me go over everything. So here we go. Very simple, just going over areas that I want to either connect or correct. And sometimes there is a difference between the marker and the acrylic paint. You can use black Posca pen, any kind of acrylic marker you have, if that's what you want. I don't really care, what can I say? And of course you can take the black acrylic paint and do the fixing with a fine brush. So I'm going to continue doing this. What I'm thinking of doing after I'm fixing all the areas, I'm thinking of doing more of these branches and leaves, so they will go a little bit to here. I'm going to do it freehand. You don't have to. If you've got something like that, you can use the stencil and part of it, the stencil, and just go and add more. And then I want to stencil a word here. That's basically my page. So I'll be back. Okay, so finished with fixing, correcting, connecting, whatever. And I also stenciled the word breathe here. And as I was looking at my page, I felt like I needed something more. And first I thought about black splattering, decided against it. And then I thought about doing some darkening to the edges so it will be more framed. But then I thought that it would be boring. So what I figured out for this, to finish the page, I've got this stamp from Stamperia, which goes very nicely with the elements I've got here. So I figured I'll just stamp this around my page with black. I'll start with a smaller one, and maybe I'll put the smaller one on this acrylic block and the larger one on this larger acrylic block, so it will be faster. And I'm taking this Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad, and what I'm going to do is just start spreading it all around, and maybe I'll use the larger one in the corners, something like that. Yes, so I have a plan which is good. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just so my focal point will get some more of the same around the page, and some framing to the page. So here we go, that's what I'm doing. I never know where it will take me. I'm trying not to go too much on top of the word. My ink pad needs re-inking, but right now it works for me. I don't need it to be as black as my focal point. I'm trying to change a position so it would be more interesting. Almost done. Already starting to take shape. I could probably go around and ink the edges also, but I think I'll leave it be. And I'm done. I love it. I'm leaving it as is. I think it's a very simple page that anyone can do. So this is it for now. I hope you like it. I hope you try and do something similar. So thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.